Hello, class. Today we're going to be talking about the last section from the first half of lesson 1, which is how to solve equations using square roots and cubic roots. And this is lesson 1.5. So for our goal today, we are going to use what we have learned about cubic and square roots and use this to solve equations. You're going to find that it's kind of similar to what we did in chapter 8 and also chapter 7 with the Pythagorean theorem and with our volume formulas. Okay, so when we have one-step equations, it is very easy to solve problems with cube or square roots. Take x squared is equal to 9, for example. Well, as we can see here, we have a squared term on the left and a constant or just a number on the right. So just like when we divide to cancel out multiplication, the opposite of squaring a number is taking a square root. So we're going to take the square root of both sides. So the square root of x squared will just become x. And then the square root of 9 will become 3, because 3 times 3 equals 9. So again, these are one-step equations here. So like with x squared is equal to 25, we could take the square root of both sides here. Square root of x squared will be x, and the square root of 25 will be 5, so x will equal 5. Actually, wait, I should retrace here. These are actually positive or negative here. The reason is because 3 times 3 equals 9. But negative 3 times negative 3 will also equal 9. So it could be either a positive 3 or a negative 3. Same with 5 here. 5 times 5 equals 25. But negative 5 times negative 5 will also equal 25. So you have to include the positive or negative values here. All right, next one, we have cubic roots here. So we have x cubed is equal to 125. Just like with a squared number, the way we cancel out a cubed number is by taking the cubic root like this. So the cubic root of x cubed will become x, and the cubic root of 125 would be 5. For cubic roots, it has to be 5, because negative 5 times negative 5 times negative 5 does not equal 125. It would equal negative 125. We got a last one here. X squared is equal to 13. Remember, you can take the square root of non-perfect squares, right? So if we take the square of both sides here, x squared would become just x, and the square root of 13 would become the square root of 13, or you could write that as a decimal, which would be 3.6 and some other numbers, but let's just round it to 3.6. All right, so that's with one-step equations. Remember, we call them one-step equations because they're solved in one step, just like we solved all of these here with the one step of either taking the square root or the cubic root. Now, we can also take two-step equations and solve them. So two-step equations mean they're solved in 2 steps. So let's start with our first one here. X squared plus 3 is equal to 52. So right now, we are adding a 3 here. So the opposite of adding is subtracting. So we'll subtract a 3 from both sides to keep it balanced. The positive 3 and minus 3 will cancel. So on the left side of my equation, I have x squared, and 52 minus 3 is 49. Now we can take our square root of both sides. We're back to a one-step equation here. Square root of x squared is x, and the square root of 49 is positive or negative 7. Next one here. X squared minus 5 is equal to 11. So we need to add 5 to both sides of our equation here. Negative 5 plus 5 is obviously 0. So on the left side of my equation, I have x squared, and the right side, 11 plus 5 is 16. Now we'll take the square root of both sides, and we will get x is equal to positive or negative 4. Okay, let's do another one here. We have x cubed plus 4 is equal to 12. So we can cancel out by subtracting 4 from both sides. 4 minus 4 is 0. So on the right, on the left, I have x cubed, and on the right, I have 12 minus 4, which is equal to 8. Now I take the cubic root of both sides here. The cubic root of x cubed would just be x. The cubic root of 8 would become 2. Okay, last one here. X cubed minus 9 is equal to 116. Start off by canceling out that negative 9 by adding 9 to both sides. These will cancel out here. On the left, I have x cubed. On the right, I have 125. Now if I take the cube root of both sides, x cubed will become just x, and 125 will become 5. So So again, this is just like algebra we have done in the past. It's just the new thing we're introducing is squared and cube numbers. But again, just like we have to do the opposite to cancel out all our other operations, that's all we're doing here. And the opposite of a cube number is taking the cubed root. Or the opposite of a square number is taking a square root. All right, so don't forget about your conclusions today. Today we learned about solving one-step and two-step equations with cubic and square roots. All right, everybody, I will see you in class on Monday. You have a great weekend, great rest of your day. Peace out, everybody. Stay safe.